Miami's going Fonseca mad as he knocks out Ugo Humbert in straight sets. We've had Coleman Wong defeating Ben Shelton, Eala knocking out Madison Keys, and Novak Djokovic. He has now won 411 Masters matches.
That's right, Ben. Here we are, another late evening for Game to Love to discuss all of the Miami action. And I'm going to start with what has happened to Daniil Medvedev and Carlos Alcaraz. This year, them two have gone off the boil, to say the least. Alcaraz, we've seen some good performances from him, but some strange defeats, sort of going back to last year as well, at the US Open, which was one out the blue. And this year we're seeing them happen more frequently. Medvedev is consistently not very good. Difference to him and Alcaraz. And I'm finding the whole tennis landscape on the men's very unpredictable, which I think could be a good thing for a neutral. If you're a neutral tennis fan, you don't have a specific favourite player. Right now, the ATP is delivering on all fronts because there is the unexpected. And Miami has been exactly that. Jack Draper crashing out of the event. We've got sensations like Coleman Wong. And I know we was doing the draw preview the other day. I couldn't quite remember where he was from. But it's from the Rafael Nadal Academy, of course. The moment after the podcast, I saw a tweet and it all come back to me. And here he is, getting his first top 20 win, taking out Ben Shelton of all players. It seems like we're seeing so many unpredictable results.
Yeah, this Coleman Wong story is just fantastic. I absolutely love it. Despite knocking out Ben Shelton and doing it against a crowd that was pretty much cheering solely for Ben Shelton, apart from one guy, it seemed, who was shouting on his own, trying to get everybody behind Coleman Wong, which was great. He stood up in the middle of all the Shelton fans, trying to get everybody going. It was brilliant to see. Made me a bit emotional watching his reaction, to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen somebody so happy to win a tennis match. The way he collapsed on the floor, he was nearly crying as he was walking, shaking hands with the umpire. Ben Shelton had to come over to his side of the net just to say well done. And then he could barely speak in his post-match interview. And he just said, I don't know what to say. He's literally lost for words, Coleman Wong, at the moment. Here's what he said. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. He said, I came pretty low in confidence. He said, I'd like to thank my parents, my team, my coaches. They really helped me a lot from highs and lows. He said, they knew I was struggling. Coming here wasn't easy. Playing a guy like Ben, I dreamed about it since I was young, playing big tournaments against big players. I'm really happy. And you see like the tears in his eyes, and what a story for Miami.
Definitely, and I think Vance summed it up quite nicely, saying the pure, unbridled joy displayed by Alexandra Eala and Coleman Wong in their victories over Madison Keys and Ben Shelton was lovely. Yeah. Huge moment for both of them, making history in Asian tennis. Of course, one from Philippines and the other from Hong Kong. Nice to see talented young players from this part of the world. And that's another thing to talk about, the fact that we have players from Asia breaking through and putting themselves into the conversation of not just being a top 50 player, but I think with ability to knock on the door of the top 10 with some time. They're both showing really good signs. As you can see, Rafael Nadal, very close to both of them. They graduated from the Rafael Nadal Academy of Tennis. Interested to see how they get on the clay. Wonder if he's sort of passed on any of that training. But really, they're just very infectious, positive, young people who I think adds another dynamic to the tennis tour. And I want to see these guys pushing inside the top 10 as well and making it ultra competitive. I think we have some really good young players on both the men's and the women's. And I have a feeling we'll see either or both of these in that conversation in the not too distant future.
Yeah, they're both very exciting prospects coming through. I was actually thinking, and I've been keeping a close eye since 2022, really, to be honest, on Eala, because she was obviously, wasn't it, US Open Junior champion in 2022. And ever since, well, I tend to keep an eye on the junior champions of the slams, because that's quite a good metric to the next big player sometimes. And I was just waiting, when's it going to click for her? And to beat Madison Keys in the way that she beat her, it was dominant. It was so nice to see. And she's so grateful for this opportunity. She's now the first Filipino to beat a top 10 player. And she had the same sort of reaction as Coleman Wong in the interview, like the post-match. And she was just sort of like talking into the camera, like celebrating, saying, I'm thinking of my parents who are watching now. I can't call them because I have to do this interview, but I'll call them afterwards. It's just, you don't get to see this type of normal, joyous interview reaction from certain players. And I'm just happy that we got this tournament to see new players coming through. And we've had some big players going out, but like you said earlier, this is sort of like a free-for-all, Miami. Now's a chance to sort of like pick a new player to support.
I don't think it's just going to be Miami, Ben. I think it's going to be the story of the tour to come. Eala's someone we've known for a few years, like you say, but she's been on the fringes. Coleman Wong has come out of nowhere, kind of thing. We've seen him on some videos with Rafael Nadal and bits and bobs. I knew the name. The moment I saw it, I knew it, but I've not seen him really play competitive ATP matches. He's very fresh and not had any experience at this stage. So to see him already producing these results against like Ben Shelton and this level, fascinated to see how he gets on in his next match. Just one thing, that's quite fitting with these two, is they're not a couple. So there's been a lot of news saying Alexandra and Eala are together. There's someone saying about the romance and how beautiful it is. And there was all photos of them all. To be fair, they look quite lovey-dovey. And I don't know. I'm not going to say that. That's ridiculous what I'm going to say. But they're not together. No. So the update is they're not boyfriend and girlfriend. They're just good friends who have known each other for a long time.
Yeah, you've got to think that they are similar ages. She's 19 years old. He's 20 years old. Both coming from similar regions, coming over to the Rafael Nadal Academy at a similar time, that type of thing.
I think they like each other. I think that is what I didn't want to say a second ago. I feel like there is something which is going to be brewing, but maybe I'm just getting wrapped up in all the online hype.
Both super talented. They both seem super humble, super nice people, and they've both been winning like events in their younger career. Like Coleman Wong, he won the Orange Bowl, which in under 14s in 2018, that's another good metric. You see players who become big stars, they normally win this Orange Bowl. It's like one of those young junior tournaments that players, if they win that, they normally go on to do well in the junior slams, that type of thing. He has actually won a couple of junior slams in doubles, Coleman Wong, as has Eala as well. So they're quite versatile in their game, but singles is where we want to see them. Maybe they do mixed doubles at some point. I'll throw that one out there. Can we see them at the next slam, please, in mixed doubles?
If they do mixed doubles, everyone's going to just continue with the relationship rumours for sure. But let's move on to the other big story. That is Joao Fonseca, my wild card for the year. What a player, man. He's so good. We are in great hands with a player like this who can thump, 118 mile an hour?
113 mile an hour.
113 mile an hour, forehands. He did two massive ones in very short space of time. Yeah. And there's no one who can really possess the power of a Joao Fonseca right now in tennis. Especially of his age, 18 years old. To put it into context, he's the youngest man to reach the third round at Miami since Juan Martín del Potro in 2007. So everything he's doing right now is exciting. We've not seen it in a Grand Slam yet. We've not seen him with a Yannick Sinner, who I think at this current stage, it's safe to say is the best player in the world. Yeah. And I don't think anyone can argue And I think Alcaraz needs to get some more consistency to his game. I know he's gone off to play some paddle at the moment, and he's there watching professional paddle, and he's loving all of that. I think he needs to get back on the practice court and start focusing on getting some consistency together, because he's losing far too often for a player who possesses the level he has. Joao Fonseca, he's coming for you, Carlos. He's coming for you, Daniel Medvedev. Same with Zverev as well. This guy is here to stay. Can he go on and win Miami? I think it's a possibility.
Well, this is a possibility.
Next
for
up,
sure.
De Minaur.
Next up, De Minaur, and they've pushed that match to prime time. It is the main tomorrow it'll be, or today, whenever you're watching this one. That will be the late match that starts the late session. It is not before 7 p.m. It says then you've got Svitolina versus Iga coming afterwards. It's crazy what this kid's doing. It says here, youngest man to reach an ATP Masters 1000 since Carlos Alcaraz is 18 years old in Paris 2021. And then this is, I thought this was great to read from Ugo Humbert. This is somebody who's played the best players. He knows what it's like to be down the other end of the court against someone strong like a Sinner or a Alcaraz. He said, I've rarely played against a guy who played so fast. I had a bit of that feeling when I played Alcaraz in the Davis Cup and Sinner in Rome. He outpaced me everywhere. He played a great match, and that's high praise from Ugo Humbert. Bear in mind, Ugo Humbert was the favourite to win this match as well. Fonseca was, I think, 2.2, so slight underdog.
From a very good hard court player, Ugo Humbert,
Yes.
someone who can whack the ball extremely hard. We saw it in the flesh when we saw him at UTS. He is a very good tennis player, and if there's someone who will give you a good indication of where the opponent's at, I think it's Ugo Humbert.
Definitely.
He's a great, solid player. So, yeah, him saying that just solidifies it even more for me. This is a great, great player. And what a cheat code of a pick for me, outside the top 100, to have someone like him.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's a real steal. So look at him here. This is season since so far, which began in December at the Next Gen Finals. Maybe you can classify that as last season, but for the case of this, it's there. So 27 wins in 31 matches, 4 titles, ATP 250 Buenos Aires, Next Gen ATP Finals, the Challenger 175 at Phoenix, Challenger 125 in Canberra, and currently 17th in the ATP race. If he wins this, he will be way inside the top 10 of the ATP race.
Crazy. I think that is just literally crazy to think. And
he'll probably be in the positions, actually, of qualifying for the race if he is to win. Of course, long season to go. We're only in March.
If you're Yannick Sinner, you're probably looking at this, probably thinking, I'd rather not play him. I'd rather play the likes of Medvedev and Alcaraz right now, because he's looking much more unpredictable and dangerous to somebody who's a big top player.
Or Tsitsipas. Didn't you say he's back, Ben?
Well, apparently not. He's out. Korda's back, though. That's my new news. Sepp Korda is back.
Does that mean in the next tournament you're going to be back in Korda?
Oh, heavy. Felix was back as well. He's gone again. Musetti knocked him out. Let's just quickly stick to Fonseca, though, for the time being. These two outrageous forehands from Fonseca at 113 miles an hour apiece. And we've got the tennis insights are back again, because I think we need it for Joao Fonseca. His forehand is a 9.4. That's right. Backhand 8.5. And here are some of the stats. Double execution, Joao today. His average forehand in 84%. It says forehand speed. I guess this is all averages. So 82 miles an hour, just average. Backhand in 86%. It says backhand speed still 73. That's not bad for an average.
Needs to get it up.
Yeah, little
Come
bit.
on, Fonseca.
Yeah, but for me, that forehand, we just got to see it for this, because it's just ridiculous. 9.4 for forehand. That is
But he will
crazy.
get caught out if that's all he's got. Not that I'm not saying he does, but his backhand's pretty good as well, let's be honest.
Solid game.
If argument's sake, he can really improve that backhand and get that up to a crazy level, then he is going to be a danger, if not already. But the problem is, we've seen Berrettini, who's had a very good forehand over the years. His backhand let him down I think Fonseca's backhand is a better one, but he still needs to be careful because players like a Djokovic will just outmaneuver that forehand and not allow it to be the weapon it is.
That's true. You've got to have more tools in your locker. But I think that's the way that tennis will be going now anyway. I don't think you will see so many one-dimensional players with one tool. I think that's just the way sport evolves. You come through with better backhands now. You don't just come through reliant on a serve, reliant on a forehand. And I think if his backhand's that good already at 18, you can only imagine how much better it's going to be soon. I remember Alcaraz's when he first came through, it was not as good as it is now. And Alcaraz's backhand is much, much stronger now, much faster. And he can hit far more winners, more direction on it. So I'm expecting even more coming from Joao Fonseca. I'm actually still this result actually makes me more proud of Lerner Tien's performance against Joao Fonseca as well, because he really pushed him all the way to 3 sets, and Humbert got done in straight sets. So that just goes to show Lerner Tien may have gone out early, but the longer that Fonseca goes in this tournament, it looks better on him, I think. So
Definitely.
Let's move on to the next story, because these are all the youngsters. Look at them all. Look, we've got some great young players on tour now. Let's talk about someone who's a bit older, breaking records still. Of course it is. It's Novak Djokovic. Come on, he's got the record finally. Most Masters 1000 match wins, 411. Oh, a lovely number that is. The 411. I think that there's a podcast called that actually somewhere. But yeah, brilliant for Djokovic. Nice and comfortable. Ugo Carabelli even congratulated him on that record at the net when they shook hands. And then he did his little violin celebration for his daughter.
I didn't catch the match this evening, but from what I've seen online and what you were saying, it was a very professional effort. Wasn't pushed very much. Ugo Carabelli is not a world beater. Doesn't look like David Goffin was either, because he went out to Nakashima. He was just one and done. But Djokovic, do I think he can win the tournament? No. I'm not looking at this still. Unless you tell me he played fantastically well when he was Djokovic of old.
Well enough.
You could even say that. I'm not sure if I'll believe you. There's a lot of matches to still be played. And I am not fancying Novak Djokovic to win this event. Next up, he's got Lorenzo Musetti. That's what I predicted on paper. And I have Musetti beating Djokovic. And I still am sticking with that one. You can get Lorenzo Musetti at 3.4 with the bookmakers. So pretty good.
That's pretty good, actually. Well, this is the list of Masters 1000 victories. Djokovic now leads the way with 411 over Nadal with 410. We've got Federer with 381. We've got Murray with 230 and Andre Agassi with 209. So that just puts into perspective how good Andy Murray was in his career, the fact that his name is in that list. And that's one thing that people forget to really mention, is because you always look at his slams and you think, oh, he only got 3 slams. He made all those finals and lost. But his Masters performances were second to none. He was up there winning so many Masters events. So Andy Murray, you still got your name on the board for now. Will someone overtake him eventually?
I don't know if he was there winning so many of them, but he was going deep and being competitive and
for sure
exciting. And he is Murray. You need to put respect on his name. He was a fantastic tennis player. Do I think that this record of Djokovic's can be beaten? Right now, I'm thinking no. But let's see how Sinner comes back, because I think if anyone's going to do it, it'll be Yannick Sinner.
Well, Andy Murray, 21 Masters finals, and he won 14 of them. So it's not too bad a record, I don't think. I think Zverev's got quite a good Masters record as well, to be honest. And he's somebody who is still ticking along in this tournament as well. Somebody I wanted to speak about, because I just thought it was just a bit of a sad but happy story at the same time. We obviously saw Rublev crash out of this tournament early again. What's going on with Andre Rublev? But I don't think it could have happened to a nicer guy. Zizou Bergs knocks out Andre Rublev, but he revealed that his grandfather passed away 2 years ago today, he said. That's what in his post-match interview. And he said he was given the news after he lost 7-6 in the third to Kokkinakis in Miami, and then playing on the same court on a special day, he beats Andre Rublev for his first top 10 win. And he was broke down in the post-match interview. I don't blame him. It's just like a real emotional moment. But fair play to him that he came back after that devastating loss and news in Miami. And now he's got that big win.
This is a good example of someone channeling that emotion in a positive way for a good outcome and to win a match. So well done to him.
Yeah, definitely. Well done, Zizou Bergs. Just one last shout out before we go. It wouldn't be a proper podcast unless we spoke about Emma Raducanu, would it? She's just literally wrapped up a win and she's got through to her first ever fourth round in Miami. And Jose Morgado says here, into the last 16 in Miami for the first time, and that's the fourth time Raducanu reaches the last 16 of a WTA 1000. Madrid 2022, Cincinnati 2022, Indian Wells in 23, and this one too. Kessler did retire with a back injury at 3-love in the second, but it was 6-1, 3-love, and then she retired, which... make of that what you will. There's probably, if it was the other way round and the shoe was on the other foot, I think there'd be a lot of people jumping on Twitter to attack her. Are they going to do the same to Kessler? Probably not. So I think
Kessler doesn't do it so consistently and so frequently.
Well done.
But despite that,
Raducanu.
I don't think we can. Yeah, we can't bring any negatives into this one. I think Raducanu is playing very well. I watched the match against Emma Navarro, and she was the better player for large spells of that match. Navarro played okay in spells, but not consistent enough. And Raducanu right now, this is some of the better tennis I've seen from her in the last few years. We've seen flashes of brilliance this last year, on and off. She's struggled to do it consistently over the duration of a tournament. Do I think she can win this event? I'm still not convinced, but it's encouraging, and you've got to give her some credit. She's lost another coach and playing okay. So a lot of news in the press about all the stalker stuff and everything else going on, but we want to see Raducanu playing good tennis and just focusing on less of the media captions and quotes and all of this stuff. Just to see her playing tennis and producing good results, and that's what she's done here in Miami. I don't see her winning it, do you?
Probably not winning it, but if she's able to get through the next match, it will give her a lot of confidence, because it will be either Mila Andreeva or Amanda Anisimova. That one is playing at the moment. It's just gone 1-all. Mila Andreeva has just won the second set, and she was complaining of some sort of abdominal pain in the first set, and was actually looking a little bit dejected and hitting her racket on the ground, like the grip side, not the other side. But yeah, she's managed to turn it around. Will she win that in 3? If so, if we get Andreeva Raducanu next round, sign me up. I can't wait to see what level Raducanu's at. Go up against the best woman on tour right now.
Definitely. Let's wrap it up there. Thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll be back tomorrow for another podcast rounding up some of the action. Some big matches still to come, and we'll be doing some quarter-final reactions when the time is there. I think we've still got another round or two.
Yeah, another round. Yep.
But thanks for watching, guys. Let us know your thoughts on anything we discussed in the comments section, and we'll see you very soon.